Vol Nation, what's going on, man? We are back with another live video, man. Got a lot to discuss today when we get into the latest with Travis Smith Jr., obviously the big injury to Edris Farouk, and much more coming up today on Vols. All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Welcome back to another episode, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hype up the video. We're back with another live, and we're talking Tennessee Vols. A lot coming out of Friday practice, okay? And we're going to start first and foremost with the injuries, okay? Major injuries so far right now for Tennessee as a comparison to the team, okay? So Joey Peters, I thought, did a good job of breaking all this down. All right, so here are the major injuries for Tennessee, all right? We'll talk about Edge Farouk here in a second, but they lost Jaden Harmon, linebacker, out for the season, torn ACL. They also lost to J.S. Richard, who's also out for the season. Now, Farouk was injured today on a lower body injury and was transported to the hospital. All right, so that's obviously major news, you know what I'm saying, for him because, you know, he's gone, right? So what is next for Tennessee now with Farouk obviously being injured, obviously have to be transported to the hospital? DeJuan Lane is going to be the next guy up for Tennessee. All right, he's going to be the guy that they're going to be leaning on, depending on, and expecting to take obviously a big time step forward. Right, TJ Metcalf is already locked in that one safety spot, so you feel pretty good there. But Lane is going to have to step up. Right now, Metcalf has plenty of experience. 13 games started, 290 plus snaps. He's been there. He's done that. He knows what he's doing. Right, but now it's going to be the depth at the position. Right, will Sidney Walton be ready to go? He appeared in 10 games last year for the Vols. Right, is he ready to go? Is he ready to contribute? Is he ready to make an impact? All right, so he's going to be obviously the guy to watch out for the Vols this upcoming year as well. And then you got to think about the kind of the veteran, another option from App State, and DJ Burks. Okay, he's from Maryville. He's a Maryville native, played all 13 games last season at App State, right? And he started the final six. He had 73 tackles, which ranked third on his team at the time. Or do you go young bloods, right? Are these guys ready? A big time recruit they got was Joel Combe from obviously Kell High School. Will he be ready to go? Or KJ McLean as well, right? So depth now is going to be an interesting question for Tennessee after losing, you know what I'm saying, their starter, their star on the defense, Edris Farouk. Now Lane is going to have to step up, or is it some of the young thoroughbreds that's going to come up in there? So that would be a major question mark for Tennessee. And a lot of their injuries so far have been on the defensive side of the ball and have been on the back end of the defense. So that is basically what is next after the Edris Farouk injury. Those guys are going to have to step up, and the depth took a little bit of a hit for the Vols today. All right, so that is the major news there. All right, so we will see obviously what happens. And staying on that point, let's go to the injury report since we're talking about injuries, right? Coming in with Darius Jackson, who talked to media today. You know what I'm saying? He was in a red non-contact jersey, was obviously, you know, going through that process, but now he back was a full participant in practice as they saw on Friday morning. Right, Ty Redmond also was out for a little bit of time. He returned to the field on Tuesday, so positive sign there. But one concerning sign is Ethan Davis, right? Ethan Davis is supposed to have a big impact this year for the Vols, right? He continues to not be seen on the practice field. So not sure what's going on there. He's rehabbing, but he has not been on the practice field for Tennessee. So have to see what happened there because he's expected to have a big role this year. All right. Alex Abilene said last Thursday that Davis was held out just to be safe, as Davis is Tennessee's most experienced tight end, position of need in Josh Heupel's offense. So we will see what obviously happens there with him. Okay. Now, the lack of Davis give Deshaun Bram, Luca Wolf, Trent Thomas, and Cole Harrison more opportunities at the pike. All right. Wendell Moe obviously has a left hand injury. Is obviously pretty taped up into a club, so he's still obviously dealing with that. Isaiah Campbell remains in no contact jersey injury. So he'll be one to watch too. And we know about Jaden Harmon and obviously Jadeus Richard. So that is the latest on the injury report, obviously, for the Volunteers. And practice notes via VolQuest. So that just tells me, man, like, you know, it's hot, it's fall camp, it's summer, right? You're going to see these injuries coming up. Now, I think Tennessee's been hit more, obviously, by this injury bug and things like that. But I think for them, it's a situation where you're going to have to develop your youth. You're gonna have to develop some of these young guys, get them to grow, right, and get them to be able to play at a very high level because now they got to come in there and they got to strike. Now, linebacker with Amari Campbell and Arian Carter, you feel pretty good, right? And you got some young guys that are chopping at the bit to be able to get in there, like Jaden Parlati and several others. So that position you feel good. There is a little bit of concern, like I said, on the back end of what's going to happen there, the depth there. Some young guys you're going to have to depend on, but this is why you develop them during fall camp. All right. So that's it for the defensive side of the ball and the latest updates there. Now let's talk about a major thing that happened today that's actually going pretty viral. I just did a video on Instagram for it, and it was Travis Smith Jr. Right now, he pretty much launched his assistant coach in practice. And what's interesting is Coach Pope has talked. And I'll pull up his quote he said about Darius Jackson here in a second, but he's talked about the ongoing battle. It really depends on what you want to go with, right? Darius Jackson's good, right? He's more your smaller, slot receiver, good route runner. You got TK Keys, who's the 5-star freshman, right? Who's obviously pretty good, has, innate ability, can do different things. And then you have Travis Smith Jr., right? So to me, I just felt like he sent the message, right? On purpose, not on purpose, say what you want. I just felt like he says, hey, ain't nobody going to out-physical me. I can go and go toe-to-toe, and you don't have to deal with me every single Saturday. And here is the clip as we pull it up today. So here he is here, right, just doing a little bit of the blocking scheme. Sorry, that was bad. Okay, let's see if we do it again. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is buffering like that. Okay, one more time, y'all. Right, so boom, squares up, push, drive, and then pushes him down. Now, some might be like, well, Naj, he's an assistant coach. He's smaller. It doesn't really matter. What matters here is he's showing that he's willing to put his body on the line, and he's showing that he's willing to buy into the blocking. And Tennessee, like quiet as it kept, they're going to need that, right? This team does like to run like short plays. They do like to run like some different screens. And if you got a guy that's on the perimeter that's going to block that way, that makes you feel more comfortable if you're Josh Heupel. When you're running the 12 personnel, hey, let's put Travis in there because Travis is going to make the block to free up a Mike Matthews or a Braylon Staley. And I think too, another underrated part of his game is the 50-50 catching ability. I think this is a guy that can go up and sky for catches and big time plays down the field. And I think for Travis, this is a big year for him because he didn't play his freshman year, but he's taken the offseason so serious by adding muscle to his frame, right? By getting bigger, faster, stronger. And now I think this is going to be a player early in the morning. You see, woke up and chose violence. That's going to have an impact this season. Now, will he start? I don't know. That's up to Coach Pope, right? Because, there's different packages and things you can do, but you can't tell me this kid ain't taking it serious and he ain't been putting in the work in order to be better. This upcoming season. And that's why I said, to me, Tennessee has one of the best receiving corps in the country, right? People throw out Ohio State. Obviously, Texas is in that conversation too. But top to bottom, this depth at this wide receiver spot is special. And you're not going to have a whole bunch of guys, or a whole bunch of like great play from quarterback, right? You throw it in these guys' vicinity with Travis Smith or with a Mike Matthews, bro, you're going to be chilling because they're going to make the plays for you. Braylon Staley's going to make the plays for you, right? So everybody's so concerned about quarterback. When you have guys like this and they willing to buy in and block and put somebody on their ass, there is no concern to me. You know what I'm saying? You feel pretty good about what you got and what you're building. So I think Travis Smith should have a role this year. He should be able to get in there and have some significant PT. I think he deserves it. I think he warrants it. And I think today he just showed everybody, yo, I'm not just a catcher. I also can put somebody on the ass, and I can also show that I can do this as well. So really good sign from Travis Smith Jr. Like I said, I did a video on Instagram and TikTok, so y'all check that out. But I wanted to talk about this, obviously, here on air. But let's talk about what Kelsey Pope, who's the pass game coordinator and wide receiver coach, had to say, obviously, about Darius Jackson and some of the receiving corps. He said, Darius has always got the right mentality, man. He's usually the hardest worker in the receiving room, right? So a guy that is putting in the work and willing to come in and make it do what it do and continuing to take that step forward. I think that's massive, right? And like I said, the wide receiving corps, they have something big coming up and approve to see what they're going to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? So, love that he's taking it serious. Love that he is putting in the work and the energy in order to do that. And I think, this is a guy that has a lot of potential, a lot of things that he can show, for the Tennessee Volunteers and what they're trying to do, obviously, this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying? So that's obviously the latest there. We're going to just roll a little bit of a clip of what, obviously, Darius should complete
for a job. You had been in a red jersey the last couple of days, but not today. But the scrimmage tomorrow, how much, I guess, urgency did you feel to get yourself back so you could compete?
I would say it's no rush at all, really, honestly. Really just taking it day by step, trying to get better and, fix up the little bumps I got going down the road.
What has Coach Pope said that he wants to see out of you guys to claim that one of those spots?
I mean, just competing, pushing each other every day, to be the best. I know you got me, Trav, and Tristan. I mean, they both great guys. Just to push each other every day, and then I think he'll make the best decision when the time comes.
All three.
And there it is. Like I said, pushing each other every day, competing, and when the time comes, he's gonna make that pretty much that decision, right? So it's interesting because you got him, you also got Joakim Dotson as well, who will also be a factor. So that spot's up for grabs. I feel like the competition between those three, Trav, Redarius, and obviously TK Keys. If you Tennessee, you got to go with the guy I think that shows the most potential and the guy that shows that they're ready to do and they're ready to play. But to me, I would still platoon swap, right? Like throughout the year, yes, I'm going to like when the game is on the line, this fourth quarter, I'm going to put my best three out there. But when they need a break, like I'm going to still play Redarius. I'm going to still play TK. I'm going to still play Joakim. Like whatever I need to play, I'm going to play. You know what I'm saying? My humble opinion. But to me, those guys are pushing each other and they push each other to be great and to be better and to want it and to take the next step forward in their careers, right? But I feel like you have a great plethora of options at wide receiver that's going to make GMAC or Faison's job a whole lot damn easier, right? Every team can't really say that. You know what I'm saying? Every team can't talk about that. So it's going to be very intriguing to see kind of, who steps right. Well, let's pull up Joakim Dotson and what he had to say.
Confidence did it kind of give you heading into this next season, just that fantastic play in the bowl game? How did that kind of just spur you for a good year too?
It really spurred me for a good year. One, like just being confident, like getting the end zone, something I want to do this year. So it just gave me confidence, not only in just like being a better player, but like just know when the opportunity comes, whenever it comes, just be ready for it. And it really has like propelled me into this year. Like I'm like ready to make a play whenever my number is called when I get on the field in practice.
Do you want more opportunities kick returning this year? Is that something that you're trying to get in with, or is that more into pass catching this year?
Both. Whatever my team needs me to do, I'm willing to do.
You're in the slot right now, primarily?
Correct, primarily.
What's your comfort level there and compared to before?
10 times, really 100 times different than like this time last year. Like this time last year, didn't get here to the summer. So confidence was kind of like everywhere, kind of like playing really slow. Now I'm playing a lot faster, know exactly what to do, know what the defense can throw at you, like all type of ways. So it's been really good, and I'm really confident right now.
There you go. As you guys can hear, that's from Joakim, primarily playing in the slot. Wherever his team needs him to play at, he's going to do. But I think those chances could be in the return game for him because sometimes if you're Tennessee, you're going to need that spark. You need the guy to be able to make those plays, the guy to be able to take it back to the house or create a spark for the team. They're struggling offensively. That's what Joakim Dotson can obviously bring to the table. So it's going to be very interesting. Today was obviously wide receiver day for the Vols, one of the strongest positions, I think, on the team. I think they have everything they need in order to be dangerous this upcoming season at the position. Obviously, unfortunate injury. Hopefully it's not season ending, but he did have to get transported to the hospital, obviously, with Edris Farouk and some other guys going to have to step up. But hopefully there is a recovery for him this year. We'll find out and have the latest details. And then when we hear it, like I said, we'll do a reaction video on that. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Vol Nation, appreciate you guys. Much love as always. Like, comment, subscribe, hype up this video, man. And I will see you guys in the next one. And always sending peace and blessings and love.